Please use this song in your commercial. Please use this song in your commercial. I need the money, so please use this to sell something. Please use this song in your commercial.
Welcome in another episode of the Captain and Madden Show for another Friday. Hope you guys are having a tremendous summer, and I hope everybody is doing well. This is Mike Madden on my side of things. The captain is on the far side of the conversation. He's sliding into place. Captain, what say you today?
What is happening, Mike Madden? How are we doing today?
I think we're doing good. It's obviously a kind of a crazy week for podcasts like us that handle a whole lot of like pop culture, sports, music business, nostalgia TV, whatever it may be. You run into a week like this and you kind of say to yourself, what more could happen? The celebrity deaths are making a big comeback this week. And I don't mean to laugh at that. It's sad, but the rule of threes has certainly reared its ugly head again. Potentially, kind of rocking the 80s a lot this week, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's look there. Before we get into, I guess, talking about exactly who passed, it's just one of those that reminder that me and you and people of our age, we're kind of getting older, and now, there's that thing of like we kind of recognize more of the people that pass. Mm-hmm. I mean, I kind of remember being younger, and my mom and dad reading the newspaper and them mentioning, "Oh, hey, you know who passed away yesterday? So and so," and I had no idea. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was the such and such on Bonanza, and then he was on this, and I still didn't know who they were.
Right.
So now we're getting into that territory of like, while this week were some major celebrity, like even people like character actors and things like that, or people that were guitar players in bands and stuff that we listen to, like when we're hearing the news of those people go, like they may not even be, celebrity wholesale names. Well, it's still kind of a reminder, like, oh shit, like those people are now in their 70s and 80s, and we better, some of them, we better do some wellness checks on them if we don't hear from them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's sort of like and you can't say like, oh, these are contemporaries of mine. Maybe Malcolm Jamal Warner is like closer in age,
yeah.
But when you're thinking of like people that were kind of central, and that you, in a sense, like you were like a fan of, or they were at least like part of a like of a pop culture world when you were growing up and you were formulating your tastes and your likes. These are pretty much like when we're talking about Ozzy Osbourne, and we're talking about Hulk Hogan. These are two people that are sort of like at the epicenters of more or less like niche industries now, but they were certainly like at the forefront of popular entertainment for a good stretch in the 80s. So Malcolm Jamal Warner was the first one, and he passed away on Monday. Was that Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was Monday that we lost Theo from the Huxtables, from the Cosby Show. No, Theo Huxtable from the Cosby Show. That was his character. And that wasn't the only thing that he did. A lot of people were like, oh, well, how do you call him a TV icon if he only did like one show? Well, I mean, he was pretty much like one of the main components of that show for its entire run. So, downplaying that is weird, but he did a lot of stuff. He would make that cameo appearance in shows, and you'd kind of get this sort of like, oh shit, they're using Theo in this one. Oh great, like I'm glad that he's getting work, or he was really funny in this. Like he delivered some good lines, and it wasn't it wasn't against type or like or something like that. Yeah. So I think there was some like fringe relevancy that kind of stuck with Malcolm Jamal Warner after he left Cosby, which again allowed you to kind of keep him, like it wasn't a total like, oh, I can't remember who that was. Like, he was still a memorable dude. So,
and it's sad because unfortunately first it was, hey, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away, and then you come to find out like, oh, the dude drowned while he was on vacation with his family. Then, like, I think either it was yesterday or today, like, he was swimming with his 8-year-old, and he got caught up in the current.
Yeah, no, that's so, like, terrible.
So now it's like, all right, his 8-year-old kid witnessed him drowning. Like, it's like more layers that makes it, more, obviously for us, it's just one of those, like, oh, yeah, like, the Cosby Show was a big part of our, we watched that every Thursday. It was part of growing up, growing up with it. But then it's like when the nostalgia kind of entertainment thing pulls away, it's like, no, he was a married man with kids and stuff. And one of his kids witnessed it's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Not to use the Anchorman thing, but with all due respect, Ozzy, some would say that he's lucky he got 7 to 76.
Yeah, I think so.
With the way that he lived his life.
No
Hulk
doubt.
Hogan, obviously there's a history of wrestlers dying very young. So the fact that, you would sit there and say 71 really isn't old for a wrestler.
It's ancient.
It is. It's ancient. Like not too many of them make it that far.
Yeah.
So,
and they weren't,
in some ways, like, it's sad because it's like you were saying, like, they're part of, obviously you're a huge wrestling guy. You do Dropkick Basement
right
podcast,
here,
you and your friend Tom.
Network. Yes.
So whether you liked them or didn't, you can't deny what impact that not only did Hogan have to wrestling, but he brought wrestling into pop. He was one of the key components of bringing it into pop culture.
Yeah.
With his character, his charisma,
of course,
the pythons and a million Hulkamaniacs are going to run wild, and everybody mimic, ripping a T-shirt or whatever it was that he did,
cupping your
obviously.
ear.
Ozzy's kind of an interesting one because you have kind of 3 sides to Ozzy, or 3 parts, I guess. He was the lead singer of Black Sabbath, which is considered the godfathers of heavy metal.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people say without Black Sabbath you don't have, Metallica, you don't have Judas Priest, you don't have all those bands. Then you have the, when he got kicked out of Black Sabbath and he becomes a solo artist, he teams up with Randy Rhoads and like redefines, I guess you would say, like hard rock, borderline heavy metal. So like there's a generation that would sit there and say, I love Ozzy because of Black Sabbath, and then there's a generation that know Ozzy
just
from being Ozzy
stuff.
Osbourne.
Yeah.
And then later on it was the Ozfest. Yeah. It was, his reality show with the Osbournes with his family.
Right.
That kind of introduced him to like a whole other audience and another generation of people. So it's kind of like weird, like when you say Ozzy Osbourne died, like there's people who are like, oh, that's crazy because he just performed a couple weeks ago with Black Sabbath. There's a lot of people that are like, I see a lot of people making videos where they're paying tribute to Ozzy and they're playing Crazy Train, not like, not Paranoid or any of the more something, And then you have a group of people that are like, oh, that's really sad. Like him and Sharon and the kids and blah, blah. And it's just like, like, all right, which Prince of Darkness did you know? Like, Kind of crazy.
So he's an interesting study, and that's, I don't want to dwell too long on it, but like Oz is kind of he's an enigma all unto himself because he, and I think a lot of ways kind of Hogan is in this sphere too, where there is, I think Ozzy was always having fun, right? I think he played. I think he played a
probably
character.
Not when he got Parkinson's, though.
Well, yeah, probably not. But like when he was on stage, he had that sort of like wild man, and he would do the frog leaps and clap like a maniac and throw the water buckets, on everybody. But there's so many. I hate to say it, there's so many artists in the heavy metal world that take themselves so ultra seriously, and then here's the godfather of heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne, who's just like, oh, fuck around today. So it, I think he always had this sort of he was like a court jester of rock and roll. So I think
I don't think he was really allowed to do that in Black Sabbath because they were so serious and
and they were downers. They were, kind of mopey, and it's still very affecting music, and certainly is basically the building blocks of heavy metal and doom music and punk music to a certain extent. But it's, I think certainly he was going towards the more free-spirited, I'm kind of fun, but I'm also unpredictable Ozzy, through the 80s, through the 90s, and even, when it became the reality show, it's all of the press was like, this is a different side of Ozzy. And it's like, do you ever watch an interview with this guy? He goofs around all the time. He talks about his wife a lot, and his kids annoy him. And it's go back and watch, and that's what's good about it, is a lot of these interviews from early MTV and from the decline of Western civilization, that brings to light that there was always kind of this sort of kind of goofy spirit to Oz. So yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Hogan's the good thing is I do have Dropkick Basement, a proud member of the Off the Cuff Stuff Network, where probably in another week or two we'll have another episode, and we'll talk a little bit more specifically about Hogan on one of those episodes. But he's I hate to say it, away from the wrestling ring, his reality show made him look like a much worse person, because at the time that was all going down, as his reality show was ending, his marriage is ending, you see a lot of this stage dad, take that he had. And then obviously all of the terrible, the racism footage and the audio that he was embroiled in, the sex tapes, the lawsuits, the bad press, and the unapologeticness of him. There's a lot of people today that are just like, hey, listen, you have to recognize that there's the away from the ring side of Hogan that's problematic, but what he did and how he was part of a machine that basically took it from regional wrestling and kickstarted making that WWF at the time a national company, and how that image, and this is what's funny, because you see nowadays your Marvel superheroes, your DC superheroes that are in movies, that are in TV shows, that are in cartoons, that are in all these things, sort of have, and they were always kind of the larger than life achievements of it, but for a time there, probably from about 84 to 90 or 91, Hogan was that for a lot of impressionable children, and young children at the time. He was a real life cartoon character that they could see on their TVs, on a Saturday morning, whether he was wrestling or whether you were watching a cartoon. We're going to be talking about advertisements and commercials. He was part of that movement, movies, and public appearances and talk show stuff. So to the forefront of popular culture, I think to a very realistic expectation, you could say the three people that passed away this week were swept up in 3 different avenues of arguably some of the most important and popular facets of entertainment that took place in that middle part of the 80s. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot to think about. I like the nostalgia of it. Hey, listen, Cosby's a terrible person. The Cosby Show was very funny, and you can see how good like the writing and the acting were on, and the timing. Like Malcolm Jamal Warner always had great timing and great chemistry with Bill and with everybody else on that show. So, yeah, I mean, as much as maybe the swirling around some of these people is a bit like, you don't want to kind of talk about behind the cameras of all these, 3 entities. There is certainly like in their heyday, go chase down like stuff that they were part of and what they participated in, and you'll find some terribly entertaining stuff and some really, I think, some gems out there. So rest in power to all 3 gentlemen who passed away this week. Let's move along. Let's reset. We are going to be talking about celebrity endorsements this week, and we built our second dream team of celebrity endorsements, or pitchmen, and pitch men and women. That's true. We're equality. We're equality first here at the Captain and Madden show. So we feel good about the list that we've created. Just as a reminder, the dream team of a particular topic includes 12 spots, 5 of which are the starting 5, just like the dream team of the 1992 Summer Olympics. Ironically enough, there is at least one dream team member on our list. We'll get to him later. Yes. Do we have 2 or just one?
Maybe one that should have been on
an alternate. So
definitely should have been on the dream team.
It's a bit of a spoiler alert there for the rest of the episode. But let's start at number 12. I like this one because you brought it to my attention, and again, there's a lot of space to play with this, and this is sort of a touchstone person. So go ahead, number 12.
So number 12 is Suzanne Summers. For those that may not be familiar, Suzanne Summers was an actress who was best known as playing Chrissy Snow on the TV series Three's Company.
Yep.
Kind of famously was fired from the show or not asked back.
Yep.
Her contract wasn't renewed, or basically she was one of the pioneers of the I want to be paid equal to my male counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, she was trying to do this in the late 70s where executives didn't see it that way. And they kind of basically wrote her, she went from being like John Ritter's equal as far as like lines and screen time and to basically almost to like a secondary character. And then they eventually just got rid of her.
That's true.
But she later on became famous for being a late night infomercial endorser of this product called the Thigh Master.
Mm-hmm.
For those, squeeze your way to tighter thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you wanted to be manly about it, you could use it
on
your
arms. Upper arms, yeah.
This way you could have more arm muscle for when you're watching Suzanne.
I was gonna
tighten her thighs.
Yes, my thigh is tightening as well. Let's just put it that way.
The thought behind having her at number 12 is that it's almost kind of like I think I used the term a lifetime achievement award for Suzanne.
Pioneer.
A pioneer. She was one of the first to use her whatever celebrity she had. I believe was she on Step by Step at this point? I don't remember.
So
or if that happened after, because that was like her next big break as an actress. Was she played the mom on this Step by Step show that was part of the ABC Family TGIF
So I want to say
But-
it was kind of like at the same. It was simultaneous. So she was starting to do the Thigh Master infomercials, and I think Step by Step started in 1990. I say that with a question mark, but I think 1990. So this is her career rejuvenation from two different vantage points, if we could say it that way.
So it was like you never really. I mean, there were infomercials, and they were usually somebody who was associate. Maybe it was the person who invented the product, or there was a time where there were like these hired people that were only known for doing infomercials.
Oh yeah, they were like game show hosts,
and
almost.
nobody, and they weren't really, she was the first real big celebrity that put her name, put her likeliness, to a half-hour commercial spot. And
and it wasn't only that.
And then once.
It was also like she was on the box. Like if you saw that in the stores, eventually because it didn't sell that well that it got to the stores. Like she was on the box in the sporting goods store.
Her likely,
yes, likeness. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
So, yeah, she after that I don't want to say became cool because and I still don't think it's technically cool to be on an infomercial at night, but. People saw the success that she was having, the amount of money that she was making doing this, and this led to a lot of other celebrities. George Foreman started doing the George Foreman grills, and he made a ton of money.
Yep.
I could think of Dionne Warwick and her psychic friends. If you were somewhat of maybe a B celebrity or somebody who was a celebrity at the time but hadn't done something in a long time. The idea of doing these commercials and pitching something didn't seem that crazy anymore after, people started seeing the success that these other people had.
That's true.
So in the term of who's a spokesperson or celebrity endorsements, was kind of one of the first people that I thought about. And we were kind of going back and forth between, nostalgia and how far do we go back, and but I think she deserves some sort of recognition. So that's why we have her. We have her at 12 as the. She's kind of like the veteran committee voting. Kind of like the Phil Rizzuto gets into the Hall of Fame.
That's a very good.
Everybody likes
comparison.
Scooter, and the veterans voted him in. So
yeah, and let's not sugarcoat the fact that number 12. She was also very hot in those commercials.
She was a good-looking woman,
and it was fun to watch her shape her legs. Let's put it that way.
It didn't suck.
It didn't suck. No.
It was not a. Oh boy, I got to see this.
Why am I watching this? Yeah, some of the ones that like some of these infomercials did start to skew a little bit. Like you're really going with nostalgia people that are part of this, and it's like, oh, like get me out of here. I can't turn this off fast enough. But hers was pretty enjoyable.
She did go on to do some other a lot of it was either fitness.
Yeah, she did like an ab roller or something, or like
it was
a crunch machine.
It was called the Butt Master. It was supposed to do your hips and your buns. But she also had health and wellness and different creams and stuff. I mean, she went on to do other things.
She did a lot of home. She did a lot of home shopping appearances and the products that she. When you get that sweet Thigh Master and Butt Master money, you start to say like, all right, well, I can kind of build a style company, or I can build a health and beauty company out of this. And
it was basically a health and wellness, because I don't think you want to buy Fruity Pebbles from Suzanne Summers. Although that'd be a good way, like you get the people in, like get them all fatted up on Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, of course. And then it's like, oh, here's all my fitness shit.
There you go.
All right, very good.
That's number 12.
All right, so we're going to move on to number 11. And number 11, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Yes, well, that had to come. But yeah, he's obviously Academy Award winning actor, the unofficial mayor of Austin, Texas. Basically, if they wanted to, vote him in as the governor or the king of Texas, he could actually get away with it. But he's done a ton of advertisements over his, I guess at this point, like, you're close to like a 35-year career that McConaughey has been in motion pictures and TV and whatnot. But he does a lot of voiceover stuff. So he's like the voice of products. You got stuff like I think Lincoln. He was one of the first to put that sort of like soft, appealing like pitchman speech in as you're talking about Lincoln cars and all that other stuff. I'm not gonna do my impersonation of him, but he's also like, again, he's a pleasant guy. He fits in a lot of spaces. So you see him on commercials for products like Doritos, like he does the Super Bowl commercials for Doritos now year after year. Uber Eats, he's been part of that. I think he's kind of like he's a Swiss Army knife when it comes to it. So like if this is going to be kind of a family product or like a snack food, as we're saying, he's easy and he's appealing to that. And then if this is going to be something that's a little more, directed towards men or macho, like he certainly can fit in that space as well and make it, kind of a more, rugged commercial or a rugged voiceover that he's doing for any of the products that he pitches. So that's why like he's definitely on the list. Kind of a sleeper. Like he's not everywhere, and there's going to be a lot of people that we talk about through the rest of this episode that are everywhere, but where he is, like I think he makes some pretty impactful commercial appearances.
He also does TV commercials, apparently for Wild Turkey bourbon whiskey.
Yeah, like that.
And
as I said,
and for Stetson.
Yeah,
cologne.
Stetson cologne.
Nothing says if I ever in my mind ever like thought I'd run into Matthew McConaughey, I would always imagine that he was drinking Wild Turkey and smelled like Stetson.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's a very male point of view, and probably a very male scent that he's got, which is what you expect. Hard-working man, well-traveled. So we'll give it up to Matthew for his appearance on this Dream Team. Who do we have at number 10?
So, again, kind of getting into nostalgia. We didn't want to. I think me and you were kind of going back that we didn't want to make this all about TV ads that we saw growing up. Mm-hmm. We kind of wanted to stay kind of relevant, but we felt like these ads needed to be mentioned, and that's the Miller Lite tastes great, less filling ads that were, would you say, late 70s into the all the way through the 80s?
I think they started in 78 or 79. Before even they had the less filling, tastes great, like, and they had those arguments in a million different scenarios, and they were always like filled with either athletes, coaches, commentators. Like it was basically like every year or every 6 months, you could imagine there was going to be another campaign, depending on what season of sports you were in, that were going to feature anywhere between 2 to 20 people from all walks of entertainment that were just going to, get into this argument, get into this conversation, and these commercials, which were mostly played for laughs, and like you're waiting for the punchline to come in, while they're having this back and forth. But I think it really just started off as a general like, hey, and Miller Lite, one of the first light beers that was marketed in the United States and had a lot of like advertising dollars behind it. Currently, I believe it's still the most popular and highest selling beer in the United States. So that kind of tells the story of it, kind of having a legacy, and all of that legacy, a lot of it started, when they were getting these commercials on football, during baseball games, wherever the male audience, that 18 to 49 demographic, wherever that was going to, park itself to watch a game or to read an advertisement or whatever it might be, they were kind of front and center on it. So, I think we could probably both rattle off a whole bunch of names that were part of it.
Not to go through the entire list, but just some highlights. Rodney Dangerfield.
Hey.
Bob Uecker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bubba Smith, who was not just Hightower in the Police Academy movies. He was a football player.
That is true.
Dick Butkus. John Madden, of course.
Yep.
And my favorite baseball player, Boog Powell.
Boog Powell. You also had Billy Martin.
Yeah.
Was in a few.
Joe Klecko and Randy Cross, the whole get in the boat. The fish start.
There was Jesse Ventura did one. They did a wrestling based one. I think in 89 or 90. So he was part of it too. And they lasted in some way, shape, or form until probably the mid 90s when I guess the beer commercials tried to get a little more contemporary and cutesy, and they got away from the athletes. But I think they started to bring them back in, at least in some way, shape, or form during the Super Bowls of the last few years. Yeah. But nothing hits like the ones from probably from the 80s and the early 90s that were just a room full of celebrities and athletes at this bar, and here's the argument that starts, and they're throwing pretzels, they're throwing chairs over it, and then Uecker is crawling out, or whoever or Rodney, whoever was part of that particular campaign was just
we're down by one run, and who was on deck? And it was always Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Or oh man, Rodney,
yeah.
that type of that old gag.
Those shenanigans. So I think this it's a good general category to sort of put the Miller Lite commercial endorsers in here as one group. A nice fat stack of boys. Let's put it that way. So that'll move us to number 9. Number 9 is Serena Williams. Now, Serena, obviously one of the trendsetters in not just in her sport, and a well-decorated tennis athlete, singles, doubles, has won every major a million times, has won gold medals, just an icon in her field. But also, with that comes this sort of new generation of advertisers and marketing companies that are saying, well, why not have her as the pitch woman? Obviously she's got a brand deal with Nike, previously had a brand deal with Puma, and that's going to be for her equipment. But she incorporated more athletic apparel and gear into her advertising, whether they were for print ads, whether they were for digital, whether they were for TV ads or billboard stadium ads. She still kind of holds that esteem as one of the faces of not only women's tennis, but I believe men's tennis as well. The whole tennis world sort of gravitates or floats behind her as kind of a tried and true. She's also big with Gatorade. She's got a brand sponsorship with Gatorade. She's with DirecTV, Ubrelvy, which don't we all love to see all of these pharmaceutical commercials in the middle of every single program that you watch, whether that's sports, primetime, daytime. I love a good pharmaceutical commercial. Can't get enough of them. Can you tell my sarcasm? But yeah, I mean, if
hey man, if it helps me get a boner, then I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. But also, like, with going in that direction, and we mentioned it before with Suzanne Summers, where you're starting to develop you have your own brand as an athlete, but then you want to do, a fashion line. You want to do, sporting goods and sporting apparel, and beauty and wellness and whatnot. Serena's got a lot of inroads when it comes to that. So her own businesses are certainly, she's happy to be the flagship and the spokesperson for her businesses, host charities, and just be the face of a lot of different industries. So she certainly deserves a shout out and a spot on this list.
It's interesting with when you come to tennis players, because while Serena was very popular all around the world, a lot of a lot of them do a lot of endorsements in Europe or European companies.
True.
And she was very diverse, because you had your kind of general like Nike ads, Gatorades, which play everywhere. Beats by Dre, but then she did, Gucci. I never say it right. It's Piguet. It's a
Puget.
Puget, which is like a watch, but it's a European, like J.P. Morgan Chase. She had these, because tennis is, I would dare say, I'm sure a tennis fan might argue with me, but I think right now tennis is probably a little bit more popular in Europe than it is in the States. But Serena was such an icon that she kind of, it didn't really matter. Like she was bankable, and people, even if they weren't really into tennis, they knew who she was and looked up to her. So definitely a really good ambassador or endorsement. Also, we failed to mention, she got to dance at the Super Bowl halftime show.
That's true. I don't know what she was. Well, she had a Super Bowl halftime commercial for something like it might have been DirecTV, but yeah, she. Listen, she's. Some would say you get a little bit of fatigue after a while, where it's like, they hire the same people to do commercials and advertising, and you get sort of like, I'm tired of seeing this person. Kind of like the Kevin Hart effect right now, but you still have to give it up. Like when you're saying like, hey, who are the most, I guess the celebrities that have the most endorsements, that they are the face of, a wide variety of products and different types of companies. Arrows are going to point to certain people, and Serena Williams happens to be one of those people. So, we have to give it up for her. It goes without saying.
Well, she's always banking on her greatness on the tennis court, while Kevin Hart banks on his, I don't know, I guess annoyance, being really short and annoying.
His loud voice, his shrillness, maybe.
I guess you need, I guess if Abbott and Costello were still around in these days, I guess Abbott would get a lot of the deals that Kevin Hart turns down. I don't know.
Maybe. That was Costello, by the way. Abbott was the quieter one. Costello was the one who would go, "Hey, Abbott." Anyway, there's
90% of the people probably ain't gonna know who the hell Abbott and Costello are.
So there you go, listeners. Here's a glimpse into the bullshit that we know. Oh wait, are we allowed to curse on this show?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I just said bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, number 8.
You can't take it. You can't take it back.
All right. Also, you can't spell CBS without it. Anyway, number 8 on our list. This is John Cena. Now, you can see him.
Yeah, you see me.
You can see him in almost every commercial these days, because he's, listen, for a guy that did had a pretty significant pro wrestling career, parlayed that into what started out as a terrible movie career where he was doing like these bland one-note action films for the movie department of WWE at the time, into what's built in the last 10 years, I guess 10 years, maybe 15 years, of a more contemporary films, action comedies, straight up comedies, animated. The dude works hard, and he gets booked a lot on some high profile projects in Hollywood. And going along with that, I guess he's a handsome man, and it's like, well, if we need a face of something, let's get John Cena. He can read. He's got a relatability to middle America, to kids. So we can talk a little bit about just quickly his the brands that he works with. Some are very kiddie. I will just say Fruity Pebbles. He was a spokesman, did a couple commercials for Fruity Pebbles, and was also on the boxes for a couple campaigns for Fruity Pebbles. Probably because he dresses like he's an 8-year-old boy. Let's just be perfectly honest, with the jorts and the colorful T-shirts and wristbands. Also has done a couple things with Capri Sun, Subway. Subway loves a good athlete endorsement, and he certainly fits that. Gillette, he's done a couple good campaigns for Gillette. Hefty, and I think he currently does a lot of stuff with Hefty with their garbage bags. Voiceover stuff for Honda, and recently has been the non-clown face of McDonald's, and has helped them with some of their marketing and definitely some viral ads that have popped up in the last few months. So yeah, Cena's and he's going to be retiring from pro wrestling in another 6 months. So he's going to have a lot of time on his hands. So he can certainly do more movies and more advertisements. So get ready to see more of the man at one point you couldn't see.
It's interesting. He's a pretty big person to have on like your talk show. He's pretty entertaining. He's on your favorite and my favorite. He's the type of goofball that will go on Fallon and do the stupid.
Oh, love playing games. Oh yeah.
So he's perfect for that show, but he does. He's been on Kimmel. He probably won't be on Colbert anymore.
Yeah, it's got a year.
But it's really weird. Like when you look at him from the neck down, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
From like the neck up, I would not think that he was He's kind of, I don't know. I don't get wrestling vibes off it. Like he was I don't know if he's in the process of
Well, he has lost a bunch of weight because he's not on the road. Well, I mean, he's on the road enough to be their world champion, but I think like at some point, and he did get some hair plugs, so his hair was disappearing at an alarming rate. Now is sort of turned around. It's turned a corner. But you're right. I think he doesn't have like first of all, he doesn't have a scarred up face like the guys in the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s would have. So he's got that going for him because he didn't have to cut himself all the time. But I think he kind of he fits more of the mold of that action star that is, right. You see how jacked he is, but he's got kind of like a goofy, like a Vin Diesel, almost like that sort of, and I think that works for Madison Avenue. And I think it works for, these brands that are like, hey, I think he's 48 or 49 years old, and he certainly doesn't look that. He looks like he's still 35 years old. So that's also another thing where it's, he's kind of like got his fountain of youth, well in check. So Yeah, I think that all works in his favor, and he seems to be pretty easy to work with. For all of these companies that want to, get him. He's been flexible with his time, and he hasn't been, nobody writes bad stuff about him in the paper. So, in the trades, I should say.
So let me ask you, if you had to buy stock, and your only two options were John Cena or The Rock, who are you buying stock in?
I would go with Cena at this point. Dwayne's a bit tainted because Dwayne's had some box office disasters. I mean, he keeps on
working with Kevin Hart and Jack Black. Nobody likes those people anymore.
He still commands a lot of money to do these action comedy roles, and he can still pull things off. But I don't think he's that, like, he was very bankable 10 years ago, and I think that has faded off. And I mean, Rocky almost made this list as well because he's got, or Dwayne, he's got a bunch of advertisers that are at his door, and he's a brand ambassador. But he isn't necessarily, like, I think you can see on his face that, like, although he's still, quite the handsome man, he's starting to show, like, the lines, and he's starting to look a little bit more weathered than somebody like Cena, who looks 10 years younger than him, despite only being maybe like 5 years younger than him. So that's just the way I see it.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. For those investment people, buy as much stock in John Cena. dump all your Rock stock.
Yeah, Rock stock and 2 smoking barrels. Hit us with number 7.
Number 7 is, the one with the 6 people that live in the apartment in New York, and they hang out at the coffee shop all the time.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Probably best known for those on the show Friends.
Mm-hmm.
I like to refer her as the woman who drove Brad Pitt into the arms of another woman.
Okay.
You would never get the Angelina Jolie Brad Pitt marriage if she wasn't so annoying. Just my opinion.
Okay.
It's a hot take. Yeah, she's the hot take. That's it. But when she's not boring us with rom-coms and doing Friends revivals, she is a spokesperson, and you probably see her a lot on your TV for commercials for Smart Water, Aveeno.
Mm-hmm.
She does a couple of different skin products and hair products that are French, and I can't really pronounce them. But also Vital Proteins. She's the chief creative officer for the wellness brand. So she's very much into the, I'm old, but I'm looking young.
Yes.
And I'm gonna bank off of that. I may be in my 50s, but guys still want to bang me, even though I'm really boring.
Okay. All right. She is very boring. You nailed it there. She's pretty boring, but she still is relatable.
She's from the show, from the moment that Friends kind of hit. I mean, she was a little bit bigger than just being like, I'm an actor. She was a celebrity. She was she was part of pop culture. I mean,
her haircut. Yeah.
Yeah, her haircut, like everybody went out and got the Jennifer Aniston bob.
Yeah. I didn't.
She's been, near did I, but
yeah,
I went with the
women did. Okay, cool.
I went with the Matthew Perry hot tub haircut.
Okay, all right. Come on now.
But she is a pretty bankable in a day and age where that movie star, your TV/movie star, the lines are kind of getting drawn. She was on the morning show, which actually is a very good show that streams on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
She made the nice transition into doing streaming and things like that. But like I said, she's She looks young. She doesn't look like she gets I mean, I'm sure she has had work because just about everybody has.
Yeah, of course
but
she has.
She does. She hasn't gotten that horrible botched, Meg Ryan.
Yeah, yeah.
Facelift or whatever. She still looks good. She still looks good. Period. And then you can kind of say, well, she also looks really good for her age.
Yes.
And she's very good, and she's very smart at banking on that aspect of it. So
yeah, and she's not. Listen, she's not. It's not like she's doing advertisements for garbage or even garbage bags, as John Cena is. You're talking about Smart Water. You're talking about Aveeno, like Emirates Airlines is another one, and then her own style brands and Beauty Aid stuff. So it's not like, if she was out here like shilling like Domino's Pizza, you'd probably go like, fuck, they got her for that. So this is more or less like let's look in the
or if it was like Starbucks and she was sitting on the couch at a Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean that's a little too on the nose, but I think there's a smartness into what she chooses to endorse and what she wants to be part of, and it's easy for her to continue to get work that way, and she's kind of a no-brainer when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, but she definitely deserves to be on this list. Let's go to number 6, and that number 6 is Will Arnett,
favorite of yours,
fellow podcaster Will Arnett. So he's one of the. He almost made the Dream Team starting 5 just based off of his lengthy voiceover. Reese's. He's been doing Reese's for at least 5 years, if not more. And he's great on those Reese's commercials. Just like you can tell it's him immediately. You shut your eyes and you're like, "Oh, Will Arnett's doing this commercial." Like he's that recognizable in the voiceover department. Did the same thing for GMAC. I think even before Reese's, before he had such a recognizable voice, because I think a lot of this voiceover stuff came at a time where he was doing like the Lego movies and some of the other like animated films that he was part of. So it's like, all right, well, you're playing right to your strength. But in addition to that, like he's been doing the commercials for Geico with Bateman in the last year. So those, obviously Geico knows what they're doing when it comes to kind of memorable and funny commercials. And he's done what else is on my list? Oh, Dick's Sporting Goods. Like he does a few kind of interesting ads, and those are, again, you're just playing into somebody's natural comedy timing and their charisma. So yeah, Will Arnett. I'm a homer for Will Arnett, and he certainly deserves to make this team because he'll probably have 4 more commercial bookings by the time I'm done with the end of the sentence. So
also apparently started Smartless Mobile with Bateman and Sean Hayes.
Well, that's the
well, no, it's a new mobile brand.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's definitely. You may see him and kind of go like, I kind of remember a couple movies, but the minute he talks, you're like, oh, I know that dude.
Yeah, you know that.
And
voice.
you can probably you rattle off a bunch, not only the commercials, but you also think of him as Batman in the Lego movie.
Yeah. He's easy to spot when he starts pitching and talking. So let's move top 5. The starters. Who's our number 1? Who's our number 5?
We'll go 5 through. We'll go 5.
Let's go 5 through 1.
So, number 5 is an icon, and that's Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, in my lifetime, I'm not going to go, all the way back to like Babe Ruth or whatever. For me, Jordan was the first person who not only, was one of the best basketball players, one of the best athletes you would ever see. really made some smart decisions regarding his away from the field or away from the court. You think of Air Jordans, the brand, with Nike, the McDonald's commercials he did while he played, the Hanes commercials. I mean, he lent his name or image to a lot of stuff, and it was, I think, and rightfully so, and without any, they don't hide it. Like a lot of the athletes that came after Jordan, who you might think of, oh, that person could have been on this list or that, they flat out said that, hey, when I made it, into professionals of whatever sport that they played, like, I'm going to mimic my career after Mike. Like, I'm not only going to make money on the field, but what I do away from it. And a lot of people have said that Jordan was their biggest influence and how they modeled themselves after him. I think the Dream Team, or not Dream Team, the Dynasty Netflix series that they did,
Last Dance.
I think that kind of tarnished him, like, because he didn't come off as like the nicest person. He kind of
little petty.
There was little petty. The fact that, like, it for people that didn't know, like, he did punch a teammate for running the wrong play in a practice, and like nothing really happened to him. He obviously has some sort of gambling. He can't do anything. He can't just play a nice game of cards or quarters, or he's got to put like thousands of dollars on it, or he's got to,
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I think a lot of that kind of tarnished maybe what people remembered. But as far as like being a spokesperson or somebody who did endorsements, I mean, Jordan was like the king when
he's a logo.
His playing career.
He's a logo. He's a style brand. He is, like, without hyperbole, there are people that are walking around talking about their Jordans who don't know who the fuck Michael Jordan is. And it's been that way for 20 years, let alone like in his playing career when that was like, so there was you had guys in the NBA that had shoe deals, right? And there were companies that were really like invested in, hey, let's chase the best players in the league should have shoe deals, and famously, like, companies like Puma were throwing a ton of money and getting like the top guys in the NBA. Converse had the top guys in the NBA. They weren't building shoes for those guys necessarily. Nike was the smart one. And Nike was kind of a middle range, even low level, like shoe brand. They were mostly known as like tennis and running sneakers. Then they got into the high top sneaker business, stylizing that first Air Jordan, the Jordan 1s, and basically saying like, all right, well, we have a guy that's young in the league that people are gravitating towards, who is probably they recognize that he was a once in a generational talent that is transcending. He was transcending in college basketball, and he quickly adapted to the pro game, and within a very brief period of time, they knew like, hey, we have to get on this boat as it starts, and now we're going to name a shoe after him. We're going to bring him into design conversations. We're going to attract other athletes because we have a connection with Jordan, and not just athletes in the NBA or adjacent, but we're going to have shoe deals with. Eventually, they have shoe deals with rappers. They have shoe deals with actors. They have like global superstars that have some sort of a Nike product that they're tied to. So, there's one thing when you say, and we were talking about this with a few of these other celebrities that are on the team but on the bench, where it's like, hey, they became brand ambassadors and they bought into companies and they've made their companies big and important, and specific style brands, they don't exist to a certain extent without Michael Jordan, and without Michael Jordan paving the way for it. So that's even more wild to think about what this connection between Nike and Jordan fostered. Has he made some mistakes? Sure. Like the gambling stuff is one thing. Also, that really short, tiny Hitler mustache that he had in that one Hanes commercial, where what was he sitting on an airplane and I think that was, some of his looks choices in facial hair have been questionable. And of course, the McDonald's commercials were, that was purely like, that's money grab city, where you're, hey, this is a tie-in to, what's the movie with the Looney Tunes? Space Jam. Like, I mean, a lot of that stuff is like, hey, there's, he's the McDonald's guy, for the Space Jam movies, and for, an early part of his career, he's like, oh, I'm, I'm eating Big Macs left, right, and center. And it's like, all right, well, great that you're endorsing, kind of, you're taking the junk food money, but money is money, and I think he recognized that at the time, that like, he struck gold with Nike, and he can certainly like help elevate other brands and other contemporary parts of the advertising world. But yeah, I mean, he has to be in this talk, because it completely flipped the script on how athletes accepted brand endorsements, and how they turned that into, you're the star of this commercial, you're the star of this ad campaign, and it's basically it's an entity in organized sports at every level at this point.
Well, he was one of the few. I don't know if he was the first, but guys got paid to be the face of Converse or whatever. He actually got royalties, which not many companies offered.
Yeah.
So that's why, I mean, he's worth the close to $2 billion, because he just, the royalties that he gets from the Jordan brand is, he's, like you said, there's millions of kids that buy Air Jordans or wear the tracksuit with the logo on it. They may never have seen or watched Jordan ever play, but they still know that Air Jordans are the shit. Just a couple other things to mention. He was on the cover of the Wheaties box.
Yeah.
That was a iconic. Him doing the jump from the free throw line. Also, probably something that would be a thorn in your side and my side, because how many times did somebody give us this joke and thought they were the first person to do it? The Be Like Mike Gatorade campaign.
Oh, that's right. He was Gatorade too. Yeah. Yes.
He made Gatorade.
Oh yeah.
I know. I probably, if Jordan wasn't doing commercial, I don't know if I ever go and buy a bottle of Gatorade, but he was the first person that was like the big, like, oh well, shit, like, and like a sports drink that isn't water, that actually tastes pretty good. Okay, I'm down. Yeah. So he's just an icon, man.
I think that's interesting to think about. I think you kind of forget, like, it just lost in the whole thing was his affiliation with Gatorade, and how that became, again, he was gold. Like, it made selling products in the athletic space much more viable when he was endorsing it, and the likes that we have seldom seen certainly not at the level. It's just sort of expanded, away from that. So he deserves to be.
I'm not embarrassed to say that I had the Michael Jordan Playground VHS. I watched that thing more than I probably should have.
Fair play.
I did not go out and buy the Full Force R&B single that he was featured on.
Oh, okay. No, I forgot about that. We could leave that one
for everything that he was.
Well, he made
on
mistakes.
the court.
He made mistakes.
That man couldn't dance for shit.
Yeah, well, he's too tall. No rhythm. You brought this other one to me or to us. Number four. Tell us about Vince Offer. Not the celebrity. Like this isn't the most celebrity name, but this is a pretty good entry here. Go ahead.
So Vince Offer is better well known. Well, his real name is Vince Shalomi.
Okay.
But you better know him as the ShamWow Man.
Yes.
From the infomercials. Reason why I brought him up, he endorsed a bunch of. He was the Shamwow guy, the chop,
slap chop.
Was it slap chop?
Mm-hmm.
A couple other info products that
Sticky
were shown late. Yeah, Sticky. Apparently, it was like some sort of Canadian grass. It was like the fastest way to grow grass or something in Canada. Was another product,
okay.
But
all right.
He of all the different. We were talking about Suzanne Summers. Brought up different, how late night infomercials became a thing, right? There was a couple, the My Pillow guy, the guy that used
Billy
to sell
Mays.
baseball cart.
Yeah.
He would put the shit on the screen door in a boat and then go out, whatever. I'm telling you that boat sank.
That boat sank. It definitely sank.
But of all of them, he was my favorite because he just had this attitude of like, I don't give a shit. Like, he was very snarky. If you've ever seen a ShamWow commercial, the fact that he always like, you put the cola in there, and then look, it soaks up the cola, and whatever. And he would just be like, he was never like, yeah, it works on that. It works on all liquids. Like, and then people would constantly bring him different liquids, and he's like, people, what don't you understand? It works on all liquids. Like, if it's a liquid,
Right.
But my favorite was he would go through all the different levels of whatever bullshit that you put in a bucket that the ShamWow would soak it up or whatever.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about him was the snarkiness of, okay, so if you call in now, and we're only going to do this like for the next 30 minutes because I ain't got all day. Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Bro. Like, your job is selling ShamWows.
You literally have the next the next 30 minutes to show this to me. If you call in the next
30 minutes, we'll give you a second one for half off. But we can't do this all day. It's like, yeah, you can because it probably costs $1.25 to make. You're selling them for like $9.99.
Yeah.
You could give me 3 of them for $10, and you're still making a killing on this thing. So
Definitely.
But yeah, he had like this attitude, this air about him that like no matter how many times I came home, from being out late or whatever, I had to sit there and watch the ShamWow guy.
Yeah.
Because
he's a soothing presence.
His
manic energy was a soothing presence.
Oh yeah, his attitude, everything. But doing a little bit of research, apparently he felt that he was also a screenwriter, actor, and director.
Yeah.
Apparently wrote a movie that
quote unquote
bombed.
Yeah. That
bombed. Shocking. It was called the Underground Comedy movie, which he then tried to sue. There's the Farley brothers who did There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Because he claims that there were 14 scenes in that movie that they completely ripped off of his movie. So yeah, he's a little bit out there maybe or unrealistic. He also sued Anna Nicole Smith because he says that she agreed to be in this movie and then backed out at the last minute.
She doesn't know where she has no idea what planet she was on at that time. So
she probably told him and then completely forgot about it the next day. So that's not that crazy.
She's pretty dumb.
But
she was pretty dumb. Rest in peace.
But he did get into some legal problems. he offered apparently a woman that worked for him $20,000 basically for him to go on a family vacation with her family. Also,
I mean, that seems like
apparently,
a sane person would do that.
also there was allegations of groping and stalking.
Well, that makes sense.
And some other shit. And then apparently he got caught. He got caught with a lady of the night, a streetwalker, a prosto, pro. We know the tit.
Okay, right.
Let's break the word down.
Yeah.
But apparently, when the cops found him, the prostitute had bit his tongue and held onto it, and he then proceeded to, I guess, strike the lady in an attempt to get her to release her grip.
This is all allegedly.
So,
right? Allegedly.
Allegedly, I guess. I guess he went to court.
We don't listen. He seems litigious. I don't think we want to.
So
he's got some skeletons in his slap chop.
There's a
closet.
reason why maybe we don't see him as much as we used to. Usually, what happens, you can't be a spokesperson if you got legal problems. That's usually ask OJ why he doesn't do Hertz commercial. Why he was doing Hertz commercials.
Well, listen, it's hard to get in touch with him right now. I don't. I could just yell at the floor and maybe it'll get down there. But even still, no. He was Vince Offer, Mr. ShamWow. No, you're right. He was a character, a late night, and listen. Some of those infomercials were like running at 7 a.m. too, and like you kind of like get up and there's that dude like screaming and yelling about slap chops and different sticky products and stuff like that. So yeah, personality for days, kind of one of a kind, like took that infomercial energy to like another level, and that's the type of thing where you're like, all right, is he a celebrity? Probably not. He wouldn't be a celebrity on his own, but in the world of endorsements and product pitchmen, he needs to be honored in that sense, not honored for his away from the infomercial lifestyle. So very good to have him part of this. Let's move to number 3, where we've got a hip hop icon, and that is Snoop Dogg, Snoop D-O-double-G. Listen, he's a he's a go-to when you need somebody that is considered to be cool, that is down for anything, comedy commercial, sing or rap a little bit, talk to the elderly, like he's got this stupid thing with Martha Stewart that he's been, shackled to for 20 years. Plus, let me just point this out, that was, and I think I said this on a previous episode, that was Busta Rhymes' spot first before it was Snoop Dogg. She did the thing on the MTV Awards with Busta Rhymes, and then it became Snoop. So Snoop Dogg co-opted it. But the laundry list of some of the advertisers that Snoop is doing business with or has done business with, Corona, a lot of different Corona video commercials where he's just lounging on the beach and just being chill and like it's easy for him to do. Skechers, he does a couple commercials with his girlfriend Stewart on that one. Tostitos, obviously, you see Super Bowl commercials all the time with Snoop doing Tostitos stuff. T-Mobile, they've got a lot of different kind of cool hip commercials with Snoop shilling T-Mobile, and he is one of the faces of the General auto insurance company, where the animated General, one of the most decorated men in our military, with his penguin friend or not, He does drive around in a hoopty with Snoop Dogg every once in a while. So it's he's an easy get. He's a good. He still has name recognition. I don't remember the last time he had a hit song, and I don't think he's really in it for that anymore. I think this is the lane that he's in, where you're like, hey Snoop, you want to do this commercial, you want to do this ad, like, he'll knock it out of the park. Hey Snoop, do you want to help us like host this show, or introduce guests for this award show, or whatever it may be. He's down for stuff like that. Hey, do you want to like, screw around at the Olympics and like represent like the network and show up and do color commentary for like horsey dancing? Yeah, like I'll do that too. Snoop has become Diet Coke. And I say that with reverence to him, because he's not, I don't think, like we were talking about like the Air Jordans. I don't think kids these days will line up for Jordan sneakers, but I don't think they put two and two together and say, oh, he was a famous basketball player. Or later on, somebody says, hey, do you know that, oh, Jordans, I've had Jordans, 40 years ago. Like, oh, why would you? Like, oh, because Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time. I think a lot of like contemporary young people are like, well, Snoop was one of the best rappers that we had in the 90s and the 2000s, and he has all these popular hits. They're probably just like, oh, that really tall kind of high guy that's in the commercials with his grandma friend. Oh yeah, no, he's awesome. So he is his own brand. He is his own legacy at this point, and that's kind of like mired in this advertising world. So good for him.
Murder was the case that they gave him, but
yeah,
apparently now they like to give him cases of money to endorse whatever product people want him to.
That is true. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a tale of redemption if you want to really kind of put a spin on that. So
yeah, on top of his, I mean, he had a reality show with his wife, mm-hmm. and he they were show. I guess he coaches his kid. He has his own football league in Compton and stuff. So I mean, yeah, he's definitely. It's kind of weird sometimes to think like him and Ice Cube are like in these commercials and TV shows or movies and stuff, and it's just kind of like, you mean the guy that was with Dre and the NWA guy are like, now bankable like household name. Like it's kind of weird.
Well, that's the power of transcending beyond your art into part of the culture and part of pop culture in general. And also, again, just being reliable and being willing to do anything to appease your corporate overlord more than anything else. Like he's happy to do this endorsement stuff. He's happy to do these other side projects. And he doesn't have to work as hard at writing songs. Kind of a win-win. Let's we got to give it up for guys like that. So I'll give him his props.
I'm sure he appreciates the endorsement from the Captain and Madden show.
He would love it.
It's like,
listen, if I wrote him a letter or an email right now and I was like, Calvin, business name. Would you like to be the spokesperson for our podcast? He would probably say, well, how many listeners? And I'd be like, 2 million. And he'd be like, where can I look this up? And I'm like, it's on all the major like podcast platforms. All you have to do is just start searching the Captain and Madden show, and boom, it's the first thing that comes up when you have all those words together. It's very recognizable. And
I would imagine it would go like this. Would you like to be the spokesperson for Captain and Madden show? And his next words were, how much am I getting paid?
Oh, well,
I don't think he cares whether we have one listener or a million. I think that man made $50,000 a day at the Olympics.
It's a good point. That's a good point. So you think he would turn us down
So-
because we're an independent podcast who doesn't? But if he, let's say he brought on some of these brands that he advertises, and he could do an ad, he could read an ad for Corona, like on every episode, and then he could make that sweet Corona money, and then we would make some money too, right?
Yeah, but then we'd have to deal with Andy Samberg.
I'm cool with him.
Really?
Sandberg's fine.
Yeah.
Brooklyn
I
Nine-Nine.
wouldn't think you.
No,
I wouldn't think you like him.
he's good. I'm good with him. All right.
Well, if I'm gonna spend my money and get a celebrity to endorse this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna pool my money. Whether I have to, sell both of my kids, although they're kind of old.
They're
so I
old.
don't
They
know
can
how
just
much I
walk.
get from-
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my money on number 2, which is Sofia Vergara.
Sofia Vergara. Okay.
Jay.
Okay.
That's my impression.
That was
Thank
very
you,
loud.
everybody.
That was very loud. Yeah.
But yeah, well, so is she.
Yeah, she's very loud. Yeah.
She's better known for playing Gloria in Modern Family. I guess the thing that makes her bankable as a person of endorsement is that's not it's not an act that she does. That's her actual voice. That's actually how she talks.
Yeah.
So when she's doing, whether it's CoverGirl or Diet Pepsi or Head and Shoulders commercials or AT&T commercials, you're getting Gloria from Modern Family.
You're getting that accent. Yeah.
And you also get the girls.
Yeah.
That come along.
Fun
with
bags.
It. Yes.
Yeah.
She's got a very.
They just erected a statue for her in her native Colombia. It's like a 40-foot statue. It's giant.
Those are boobs filled up with cocaine.
Boobs are huge. No, it's a statue. It's not a cocaine statue. This is a
They're
big.
not gonna export it to the United States.
No,
and
this is a big.
Somebody's gonna crack the statue. I've seen this movie.
These are big brass boobs of hers. Yeah,
Like True Lies when they brought the statues
true.
from Egypt and they had missiles in it. This
Yes.
one, her breasts are gonna be filled with cocaine.
they're just.
But anyway.
Okay. The regular shirt missiles. Go ahead.
Enough of her boobs. Well,
No, can't
that's
get
what
enough
she
of
said.
them. Can't get.
She's also, she's turned it into. She has her own clothing line, or it's called Sophia at Kmart. She has a line of denim at Walmart. So she's kind of,
Hold on there.
She's very smart.
Hold on. You kind of left that lying out there. There's a line of denim at Walmart. What is this? Every day at Walmart, there's a line of denim. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue.
I don't create this stuff. I just
Continue.
I'm telling you what she promotes.
Okay.
Even though Modern Family is not on the air anymore, she's still one of the judges on America's Got Talent.
Yes, a Colombian.
So that gets ratings apparently.
Yeah.
Because she gets on there and she starts talking to one of the contestants, and she'll probably missay a word, and then Howie will jump
Hilarious.
on it and make a joke, and laughter ensues. But it is very impressive how she's taken this one role that was kind of like, the first season or two, you would kind of say she was a side character on the show, and quickly became one of the main parts of it. And I mean, the list of amount of stuff that she endorses is pretty impressive. There's been a lot of, those secondary character, whether it's, Jaleel White being Urkel. I don't think Urkel
wasn't
promoted
doing
as much
shampoo
shit.
commercials.
You could say Cousin Balky. I don't think he was doing a whole lot of
No.
a lot of commercials and stuff. I mean,
They're not beautiful women. That's the other. Here's the other.
well, that's, yeah.
Here's a shocker
I'm
to you.
just saying
A beautiful,
there's a lot of- I'm
beautiful
just saying,
Colombian
there's been a lot
woman. Yeah.
Who talks weird.
She's going to get. She's going to get your attention.
Yes, one way or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely she's made a life after a very hit TV show. which is probably more successful than the little rinky-dink bullshit talent show that she's on, but that keeps her relevant and probably opens the door for her to get more commercials or produce other things as she goes forward with that. So, your thoughts on Miss Vergara?
I'm gonna listen. The advertisements are crazy. It all makes sense to me. Pretty women can sell a lot of products. Exotic pretty women that have accents and big boobs and butts can sell more products. Here's the thing that hits me. She did, and I think she still works with Garnier. It's a shampoo conditioner company, Garnier. And she had so she incorporated her son. And
oh yeah.
It might have been one of the creepier commercials that has come down the pike in the last 10 years, because you think the way that she's doting on him, you think that he's this 10-year-old kid who can't take care of himself or wash his hair or can't see or something, and she's fawning him, and then you see the kid and he's 20, and it's fucking whoa, weird. It's a little uncomfortable, and you're kind of she that way? Is she just overly affectionate? Is the kid kind of, I don't know. But still, it's kind of
if I may borrow a line from the great Adrian Samed from Bachelor Party. If I was that kid, I would breastfeed until I was about 15 or 16
of course,
years old.
Right. But, I mean, maybe that's what he's got a bit of arrested development.
Well, think of her character. I mean, think of the Modern Family. She would fawn over and baby Manny, and Manny was this little fat
pain in the ass is what he was. Narc.
Yeah, who listened to Frank. He was a Colombian kid who wore suits and listened to Frank Sinatra. I can cut at least while it was creepy, I can understand at least her real kid in real life was normal. Okay, I guess.
All right, maybe,
but it was still creepy. It's still
she's playing with his hair, and she's hugging him too long, and it's all right, can we kind of taking me out of this commercial?
What is
kind of getting the heebie-jeebies here?
Is this for your hair, or is this for is this an ad run and then go tell somebody you trust?
Yeah, or is he an actor and I have to put my credit card in at some point to finish the rest of this commercial?
Oh, I know how this ends.
I've seen that adult film. It gets in her hair, but anyway. that's what.
Hey, you know what gets that out? Garnier.
Okay.
Cha-ching!
All right. Yeah, we've taken this to let's put the brakes on this. This woman's got a 40-foot statue of herself in Colombia. She's got to be doing something right. She's their best export, but and I say export, I didn't say sexport. Boy, this got dirty fast. But listen,
I got to admit, I thought we were very well behaved for. I mean, the fact that we made it all the way to number 2.
Well, that's the thing. It's
I'm gonna pat myself on the back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we didn't. Listen. We talked about Suzanne Summers' thighs. About an hour and 28 minutes ago. So
she was the thigh master. What are we supposed to talk about?
Fair play. Let's get to number 1. Number 1 is my favorite celebrity endorser of all time. He's the fucking king of this shit, because there is nothing that this gentleman will say no to. Conan O'Brien once called him one of the most famous Irishmen that we've ever had. Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq Fu, Shaq Diesel. You know him, you love him. I will start by reading every endorsement that Shaquille O'Neal. I think I'm going to hit them all. If you're ready.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back
Okay.
in 5 minutes. And you'll still be reading the list. So
Right. This is going to be like this is like an acceptance speech at like a 50s Oscar ceremony when they all had 4 categories and they can mention everybody that was on the film. So, and some of these advertising or some of these companies are companies that we've heard before in this broadcast. So, some repeat customers, but they all love to get Shaq in a commercial or an advertisement. Starting off with the aforementioned The General. Shaq, the General and the Penguin, they go for rides in cars. They play a little basketball. Shaq gets on his belly and like chases the Penguin around. So he's part of that. Reebok.
Real quick, talking about creepy, the Shaq in General go to the prom commercial.
Yeah, I know.
A little weird.
I know. Yeah. The Penguin.
Go on.
The Penguin appear in that one. Reebok. At one point, I did have the Shaq Reebok sneakers to play basketball, and it was like intramural basketball I played in high school, not anywhere near a junior varsity or varsity level. But I had the Reebok Shaq sneakers. They were like 2 sizes too big because it was like, well, you're going to grow into them. They were very big. It was like playing basketball in ski boots.
Plus, it were Shaq's shoes, so the smallest size was probably adult 13.
13. That's right. A longtime spokesperson for Pepsi. Nestle Crunch. Gold Bond. Buick. Papa John's. Actually, I believe he's a minority owner of Papa John's. He's got some stock in them. So he developed a Shaq-a-Roni pizza because the guy knows wordplay. Hulu. Epson. Color printers and printer cartridges. Carnival Cruise. Frosted Flakes. Amex, American Express. Vitamin Water. Icy Hot. That dude went to a lot of Icy Hot, by the way. His knees were busted the second that he got out of LSU. But Icy Hot. Home Depot. The New Jersey State Lottery, which always tickles me when I see, like, when he first signed on as a spokesperson and they started the campaign, he was on, like, the side of a scratch-off ticket. And I bought a bunch of them because I was like, I just want to like scratch next to Shaq's face because he's there. And then like on the, if you go to a place to buy lottery and they have like Cash Pop or they have like the whatever the short-term games are that they have on there, like Shaq's face comes up on the screen and like he taps the screen and it cracks. He's the best. He's the best. Couple more. He was a spokesperson for Burger King in the 90s.
Yep.
Toys R Us. Shaq has been a spokesperson for the CPAP sleeping machine and mask. Radio Shack. I mean, that's a little on the nose. Arizona Iced Tea had a whole line of Shacktastic brands and flavors. And finally, Comcast. I think that only scratches the surface. There's bound to be more that I couldn't dig through or look up. But yeah, Shaq, he turns nothing down. He's goofy. He's charming. He's got credibility. He's currently on television, so it's not like hey, there's this old athlete that just keeps showing up and like, he's not really, let's just give him a bit part in this commercial. No, like he is a main guy on, that NBA pregame and postgame coverage. So he's been doing this endorsement thing. He's in the conversation that Jordan is in, but it is for so many other like little tiny teeny brands that kind of make your head spin. So kudos to Shaq. Thank you, Shaq, for never saying no to a commercial.
Who that you forgot?
Oh,
or didn't mention.
Okay.
Oreo cookies,
Oh yeah.
or the triple double variety.
Mm.
And apparently, he has been a long time endorser, and had a special menu item called the Shack Pack at Taco Bell.
That's probably delicious.
The most amazing thing about Shaq is that he has done all this. He is an endorser for 1,000,001 products. He does the post and pre-game shows for NBA and college. I think they use them during the NCAA tournament. He's on.
Okay.
He's on like every like talk show. He does all this, and basically, he's pretty unintelligible.
He's very
You can't
mumble. Yeah, he's
understand
mumbly speaking. I agree.
Which makes it, you would think, like, the number one thing that you should be able to do is talk clearly, which he cannot. But somehow he is amazingly he has transferred that into. I don't even know if people know that Shaq played basketball.
Well, I mean, he's super tall.
They just know that he's this giant guy that dances with the general and his daughter at the prom.
Right.
Right. I think instead of offering the endorsement job to Snoop Dogg, I think we should offer it to Shaq, because he clearly doesn't turn anything down.
He doesn't turn anything down. I would love for Shaq to.
I think Shaq would do a commercial for us.
Captain Madden show. See this. All right. So this, as you were saying, like he kind of has like a burly mumble speak to him. But
Shaq says, "Drink more Pepsi."
But that's the thing, is like you give him a couple lines and you're like, what did he say? Now I'm paying more attention to it. This is all advertising hooks. This is marketing 101, Captain. And it works like a goddamn charm. First of all, he's got a very approachable demeanor. He's gentle giant, we would call it. He's got charisma for days. So the second that you see something that's like that's that big, that's that sort of imposing, and then he's got the smile that goes ear to ear, and he's got that sort of like, his arms are out and he's waiting for, the warmth to flow back in his direction. That's why he's so easy to book for this stuff. Like, I didn't think that I would be able to say, oh, Epson has a celebrity that endorses their product. Lo and behold, Shaquille O'Neal can do an Epson commercial and can tell you about color cartridges and how difficult it is to replace color cartridges and expensive it can be. Icy Hot isn't a sexy item. I mean, it could be for some, but I would think it would sting after a while. But like, here's Shaq. Like, he's talking about his knee pain and his joint pain and his ankles and all these other, obviously relatable to an athlete or anybody that works with or is on their feet all day. And Shaq, very simply put, can sell that product to you because he's got relatability. So no matter what it is, this dude can like break it down into simple terms, and he can sell a product. That's why he's got to be listed as one of the greats. He's one of the they call them the GOATs, the greatest of all times. He's on the dream team, and I don't think there's that much more I can say about it. Here I am getting all mumbly myself.
I'm just glad that he finally did make a dream team.
Okay.
Should have been on the original.
Fair play. Fair play.
Loved them in blue chips.
Yeah. Right.
Not so much in steel.
Well, listen, that's the writing. Shaq Fu.
Oh.
Shazam.
Space Jam.
He had briefly in Space Jam.
Apparently, he was in the Uncle Drew movie.
Okay. The less said, the better. No, he's got cameos. He's got, but he's got a charm, and he's one of my favorite athletes. And I'm not an NBA guy, but like, I gravitate towards a Shaquille O'Neal. I get a kick out of him. He's my guy. I'm a Hulu subscriber. I eat Frosted Flakes occasionally. I play the New Jersey State Lottery whenever I have the feeling. Burger King's okay. I used to have Comcast cable. Toys R Us was awesome as a kid. Don't have a printer, so I don't need anything from Epson. As I mentioned before, I had the Reebok sneakers when I was younger. Nestle's Crunch, world class, top level candy bar. Probably on the dream team of candy bars, which we should do one day. You'll never catch me dead on a Carnival cruise. Sorry, cruise business. But yeah, a lot of these things, I don't have an issue with my sleep, so I don't need a CPAP machine. But if I did, Shaquille would be the guy. So yeah, checks all the boxes for me.
And you're an icy hot guy. Now, when you had the Shaq sneakers, did you instantly become a shitty free throw shooter?
No, I became a very focused runner because I had to like make sure that that my shoes came with me when I wanted to run, because they were either they were so far ahead of me or they were spinning on my feet as I did. I also before I had the Shaq sneakers, I had Reebok pumps.
Ooh,
those are the tightest sneakers in the world. When you pump those bad boys up all the way, those were ankle pinchers, and they would like slam the front part of your foot too. But like releasing all the air out of them was one of the greatest like feelings and sounds you could ever do. So I
guess you're a big D Brown fan at one time.
No, not really. I got those because they were cool sneakers and they were gimmicky. Again, I thought I was improving my game when I was in 8th grade, and I was like, you know what's going to really push me over the edge? Let me get these dark black Nike pump sneakers. So
with an orange
basketball on the tongue. This is going to be I'm going to look great. I know I'm sitting on the bench, but when I get in that game, I can shoot with the best of these kids that are playing at the end of the fourth quarter. So yeah, there you go. There's my story of Shaq and of Reebok too. So, anything else to add at the end of this episode?
I think we said everything that we need to be said, but I seriously think we should, instead of sending a letter to Snoop Dogg, I bet you we could get Shaq.
Let's pivot to Shaq. That makes sense. I was going to say Clooney, because Clooney does a lot of advertisements, but he does we're luxury brands.
Yeah, we're not highbrow.
We should think of ourselves as the luxury brand of podcasts.
How much do you think it would be to get the Sofia Vergara statue to do?
Have that just put like a Captain and Madden show sticker on it.
Yeah, that's our new logo. Is the 40-foot statue of her.
I could work on that. I got a graphics package that I can certainly have a package that I could put on Sofia Vergara's statue. But I'm just, come on.
I can't be doing this all day.
You're the one that made it dirty.
If we mention this in the next 30 minutes,
I know.
You get a 30-foot statue of Sofia Vergara.
All right, very good. All right, enough with the endorsements. Go out and buy all these products. And if listen, we talked a lot about brands. If any of you that are listening to this work at any of these companies and you like our shtick, we are whores, and I have no problem reading ads all day. The whole podcast could just be reading ads. And if I make a little bit of money off of it, then the captain and I are happy people. So let's listen. Advertisers, contact us. You know where to find us.
I can sing. Law bite back.
Very good. All right. That's it for the show. We've said our piece. We're gonna get out of here with a little bit more of John LaJoie. You know him better as Taco from The League. He was singing the intro song. Please use this song. Pretty apropos for this episode. So for the captain, Michael Corby, on the other end, this is Mike Madden. We hope you guys have a great night. We will see you next week.
Bye, Mike. Drink more Pepsi.
Shots, office supplies, a brand new hair dye, a dating website, a suicide hotline, a new way to exercise, a preview for a movie that is coming out in July, a political campaign, a new video game, a medication that you didn't know you should be taking. Any product, any service, this is the right song. Your target audience will be singing and dancing along.